What's up guys, it's Rasim from raspbian.com, and this is part 2 of our Raspberry Pi 3 cluster supercomputer video series. In this video we're going to be doing a lot of things. We're going to be working with only one Raspberry Pi in this video. Part 3 we're going to set up all the other Raspberry Pis, and part 4 hopefully we're going to be testing out the cluster, running different programs on the cluster to test out its performance. Now again, in this video we're going to download Raspbian, set it up, install it on our Raspberry Pi, then configure everything we need to configure on our Raspberry Pi. Now before we get started with the video, I want to mention a project that I will be working on. It's a pretty big project. To get this project started, I need you guys' support. The way you can support me is by liking this video. Like all the videos that I do in this series, and I'll know you guys are really into it. Now the project I will be working on is a 200 or 300 Pi cluster, and if you guys like these videos, I know you guys will be into that type of video, and I will spend the money necessary to create that video. But again, I won't spend the money unless I know you guys like these videos. So if you like this series, all the videos of this series, I know you guys are interested in a video like that, and I will create one in the future. Now without further ado, we can get started with the video. So we're going to open up a browser here. And the first URL I want to show you is a web page that I created on my website. It's called Raspberry-Pi-3-cluster-supercomputer. It's in my raspberrypi.com webpage. This is the URL here. The URL will be in the description. We will be using this webpage for all the remaining videos because it has everything we need here, all the links and all the code that we're going to copy and paste onto the terminal. So the link will be in the description. And now we're going to navigate to this URL here. This is Win32 Disk Imager. This is the program we're going to use to burn our Raspbian image onto the SD card or micro SD card, then set it up onto our Raspberry Pi. Now the link will be in the description. We're going to click on Files. We're going to click on Archive. We're going to click on the first link you see. Once you click on it, it should start downloading after this thing has finished moving. So I'm going to cancel the download because I already downloaded and installed mine. But it's pretty simple. Just download after it finishes downloading. Just install it, double click it, install, next, yes, whatever it asks you. Once you finish installing that, we're going to move on to the next URL. And this is www.raspberrypi.org/downloads/Raspbian. Links will be in the description. Now we're going to download the Raspbian image. This is the newest one, created in March of 2016. And it's Raspbian Jessie. We're going to click on the download zip link. Click on it, it should start the download. Now, I already downloaded mine, so I'm going to cancel it once it does start. But once you finish downloading that here, we're going to move on to the next step. So the next step is to download something called Putty. We're going to download Putty by navigating to this URL here. The URL will be in the description. And we're going to click on this link here. For Windows on Intel x86 processors, click on this first link. It should start the download. I'm going to cancel it because I already downloaded it. Now, this is one of those downloads you don't need to install anything. It's an executable file we're downloading, and once you click on the file, it should start the program. Now, I'm going to cancel my other download as well, the one I started earlier. Now, once we finish that, now we're going to burn everything onto our SD card. Again, make sure your micro SD card is connected to your computer. You will need one of those adapters. So get one of those micro SD card to SD card adapters connected to your computer. So now we're going to open up Win32 Disk Imager. It's the program we just downloaded and installed. Now before we select our image file, we have to extract it. So usually it downloads in the downloads folder. So navigate to wherever you downloaded your Raspbian image. Mine is in downloads. And double click the file and drag that file to the desktop. It will extract it. We can't burn an archive file onto the SD card. So once you've finished extracting your file to the desktop, we can continue on to the next step. Now we're going to search for that file. We're going to click on this folder here in Win32 Disk Imager. And I'm going to navigate to the desktop. You're going to navigate to wherever you saved yours. This is the file here, Raspbian Jessie. I'm going to click on Open. And make sure your drive letter is selected to the right drive. It should select it by default, unless you have like a USB flash drive. You want to make sure you disconnect all your USB devices if you have a USB flash drive, connected, you only want to keep your micro SD card reader connected. So this is my drive letter for my micro SD card, and now we're going to click on write, and then we're going to click on yes. Now it's going to burn that image onto our micro SD card. I'm going to come back once that's finished. Alright guys, now that's completed. We're going to click on OK. Now we're going to take out our micro SD card from the computer, connect it to our Raspberry Pi. We're going to connect a network cable from our Raspberry Pi to our router, the same router that's connected to our PC, so we can remotely access our Raspberry Pi. Then we're going to power on our Raspberry Pi using the micro USB cable and connect it to a power source. So once that's finished, we're going to come over here. Alright, the next thing we're going to need to do is open up Putty. We downloaded Putty earlier. Just navigate to wherever you downloaded Putty, start it. Now Putty is the program that allows us to remotely access our Raspberry Pi. All it needs is the IP address of our Raspberry Pi. And as long as our Raspberry Pi is connected to our network, same network that our PC is connected to, we can remotely access our Raspberry Pi. We're going to be doing all our work on Putty. Alright guys, to figure out what your IP address of your Raspberry Pi is, all you have to do is go to like a search. Anything on your Windows that has a search and type in CMD, and we want command prompt. So you could type in CMD and hit enter, or search for command prompt. And we're going to type in something in the command prompt. We're going to type in PING, hit space, RASPBERRY, PI, Raspberry Pi. By default, I think Raspbian will call your Raspberry Pi Raspberry Pi. So that's the network name for your Raspberry Pi. So all we're doing is pinging Raspberry Pi, and it should give us our IP address. So hit enter, and it worked. So we're getting a reply back, and this is our Raspberry Pi's IP address. Mine is 192.168.1.173. Yours will be different. So just jot yours down, remember it. And I'm just going to copy it. You can't copy it here. I'm going to close it. Mine is, again, 192.168.1.1. So jot it down, remember it, write it on a piece of paper, and we're going to type it here. So 192.168.1.173. Yours is different, remember that. And we're going to click on open. And this is a potential security warning, whatever. Just click on yes. Now it's asking us for a username, and the username is Pi. Hit enter. The password is Raspberry, so RASPBERRY, and hit enter. Now we successfully logged into our Raspberry Pi. Alright, so now we're going to open up our URL. Again, this is the URL I created. The link will be in the description. We're going to be using this URL or this web page for the rest of our projects. It has everything you need here, all the links and step-by-step instructions, and it has all the code that we're going to copy and paste onto this terminal here, so you don't have to type it in. It makes it easier for you and me. So all you have to do is copy and paste. Whatever I tell you to copy and paste, that's all you're going to need to do. You can see it has one video right now because that's the only video I finished. I only finished part 1. We're actually working on part 2 right now. This is what you guys are watching. Once I finish part 2 and it's uploaded, I'm going to upload it to this page here. Again, it's www.rosmertech.com/raspberry-pi-3-cluster-supercomputer. Link will be in the description. Now that we successfully logged into our Raspberry Pi, we have to start with installing MPICH. Or I'm sorry, before we install MPICH, again, this is the installing Raspbian. We already went through some of these steps. We downloaded the Raspbian image. We downloaded Win32 disk imager. We burnt that image onto our SD card using Win32 disk imager. We connected our micro SD card to our Raspberry Pi. We connected our network cable to the Raspberry Pi. We connected a micro USB power cable to our Raspberry to power it on. We downloaded Putty. We opened up CMD. We found our Pi's IP address by typing in ping space Raspberry Pi. We opened up Putty. We typed in our Raspberry Pi's IP address. We typed in our username, Pi, and our password, Raspberry. We hit enter. Now we're at this screen here. Again, this web page will come in handy when you guys want to search for something. All the information, including all the stuff and the links to buy everything, are in this page here. So we will be using it a lot. So now that we finished that part, we have to copy this code here, sudo raspi config here. And we're going to paste it. The way we paste it is by clicking on terminal, then right-clicking, and it will paste it automatically. Right-click on your mouse, it will paste automatically. Then we're going to hit enter. Now, this is the Raspberry Pi software configuration tool. This has everything we're going to need. And now, under here it says expand file system. Expand file system is already selected, so we're going to hit enter. Hit enter. I'm sorry, we're going to make sure you click on our terminal, hit enter, and expanded our file system. The way that works is, let's say you have a 16 gigabyte micro SD card, it'll expand the file system to use the entire 16 gigabytes so you don't waste any space. So next thing we're going to do is go to advanced options, right? Hit enter, and we're going to change our name of our Raspberry Pi. Hit enter, okay. We want to change it to this here, PI01. That's capital P, lowercase I01. So delete this. Capital P, lowercase I01. Hit OK. Now we're going to go back into advanced options. We're going to make sure that SSH is enabled. Enable SSH, yes. Okay. We're going to go back into advanced options, and we're going to split the memory. And how much memory should we give to the GPU? We don't need that much money. I'm sorry, we don't need that much memory for the GPU. We're only really using the CPU, and we're not using the graphical user interface for the Raspberry Pi, so we're going to give it 16, a minimum of 16. Then we're going to hit OK. Now we're going to finish the installation. To finish the installation, or the configuration, I'm sorry, we're going to hit tab a few times till finish here is selected. Then we're going to hit enter. Would you like to reboot now? Yes, let it reboot, that's fine. Close this again, and we're going to reopen putty. So open up putty, type in the IP address of your Raspberry Pi, 192.168.1.173. Yours is going to be different. Just type in your IP address of your Raspberry Pi. Click on open. Again, login is Pi. Password is Raspberry, RASPBERRY. Hit enter. We're logged back in. The cool thing is I jotted everything down on this web page here. So if you guys didn't catch something, instead of rewinding the video, you can search it on this web page here, and it will be there, and you can copy it and paste it. So that's why I created this web page here, so it'll help you guys throughout this process. So now the next step, we're going to install something called mpich. To do that, we're going to copy this code here, sudo apt-get update. This will update our Raspberry Pi with everything we need. Give it about a couple of seconds or a couple minutes to run. Once it's finished running, I will come back. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this terminal closer to this page here. So the next thing we're going to do is make a new directory. So all we have to do is copy this code here. Copy it. Right click and it'll paste. Sudo. Sudo is giving you like administrative permission to do it. Hit space. mkdir is making a directory. Hit space, and we're calling the directory mpich2. So once we hit enter, it's going to make that directory. Now we're gonna move into the directory by copying this code here. cd into this directory. So paste it. Hit enter. cd is changed directory, and it moved us into this directory here. So we're in the directory. Now we're going to copy this code here, sudo wget, right? And we're getting the actual program is called mpich hyphen 3.2. So it's mpich 3.2. This is the newest version. And it's going to download the archive file, the .tar.gz file. So once we paste it here, hit enter, it should start the download. Download has completed. Now we have to extract the file. But to extract the file, we got to copy this code here, tar space xfz, the name of the file, .tar.gz. So we're going to copy it. But I forgot to add sudo in front of this. This won't work unless you add sudo. By the time you guys see this video, I'll have already corrected it. So we got to type in sudo first, sudo. Then I'm going to hit space. Then I'm going to copy that code here. So if you don't copy, or if you don't type in sudo before this line of code, it won't work. But again, by the time you guys see this video, I have already updated it probably on the website, so you shouldn't worry about it. Hit enter. It will extract. If it extracted, then you'll see something like this. If it didn't work, it'll give you an error message, basically. All right, so now that we did that, now we have to make a few directories. So we're going to copy this here. I'm gonna copy this, sudo make directory hyphen sudo make directory home slash rpi mpi. Copy it, paste it, hit enter. We just created a directory / home. We created another directory in / home called rpi mpi. Now we're going to copy this line of code here, and we're going to make some more directories. And I'm going to hit enter. And we made a new directory in rpi mpi. We called this one mpi-install. So now we're going to copy the next line of code. We're making more directories. We don't have to do this a lot. So once we finish making directories, we're going to do more of the coding. So I pasted it here. So we're making directory. We're calling it home. We're making a directory in the Pi directory called mpi build. So we're going to hit enter, create this directory. Now we're going to get a software called G4Tran. I'm just going to copy this code, and it should install the software. Copy it, paste it, hit enter. This will take like 10 or 15 minutes. So if it asks you, do you want to continue, type in yes, enter. Again, it will take like 10 or 15 minutes. I'm going to come back once that's finished. All right, guys, so that's finished. Now we're going to copy the next line of code here, sudo, and we're going to create another directory. And by creating this directory, it's going to start installing some stuff here. And it's going to initiate mpi/install. So this one will take a little while. It's probably like 20 to 30 minutes, maybe less, maybe more. But there are a few things in this tutorial that are going to take a very long time, and this is one of them. So copy it, paste it, hit enter, and be patient. It's going to take a long time. Don't be scared. It's normal. I'll come back once this part is completed. All right, guys, so now we're going to copy the next line of code is sudo make here. Copy it, paste it onto here, hit enter. This will start making everything that you need, like all the directories, I guess. It does a lot, and this is the one that takes, I think, the most time. So this will probably take close to an hour, maybe less, again, maybe more. I'm gonna come back once that's finished. So don't be scared if it's been doing it for like a long time. It's normal. So I'll come back once that's finished. All right, guys, now that's finished. Now we're gonna copy sudo make install. This one will install everything, and this one will also take a long time. So don't be worried if it's doing it for a while. It's normal. So hit enter, and I'll come back once it is finished. All right, guys, so now that part's finished. We're going to change directory. All you have to do is type in cd, hit space, 2 dots, hit enter, and it should take us back to our root directory. Now we're going to copy this code, nano space dot bash rc. What this is going to do is it's going to open up a file that we need to update. So once we right click it, we're going to hit enter, and then we're going to copy this code here from path to bin. We're going to copy it, right? Then before we paste it, we have to scroll down, click on the terminal. You're using your arrow key, the down arrow key, hold it down till it goes all the way down to the last part of the page, right? When you're at the end of the page, hit enter so you give it some space from the last code. Then we're going to right click and paste this path here up until the bin, path to bin, right? So now all we have to do is save the file. To save the file, we got to hold control, press 6, right? Then press X while you're holding control. Now we're going to type in Y, hit enter, and we saved the file. So now all we have to do is reboot. To reboot, we're going to type in sudo space reboot, hit enter. It rebooted, and we lost our connection to putty. And we're going to close it. We're going to open up putty again. I'm sorry. Not that one. We're going to open up putty again. We put putty here. We're going to type in our IP address of our Raspberry Pi. Mine is 192.168.1.173. Yours will be different. Hit enter. Login is Pi. Hit enter. Password is Raspberry. So RASPBERRY. Hit enter. We're back in. Now we're pretty much close to the end here. So we're going to copy this bit of code here. Copy it. Paste it. Right click to paste. Now what this code is going to do, it's going to test whether or not whatever we just did in the video was successful. If we did everything correctly, then we should see our Raspberry Pi name printed out. So hit enter, and it worked. Pi01 is our Raspberry Pi name. pat yourself on the back. Everything that you did worked, so we could continue on to the next step. Now the next step here is we're going to install something called MPI for Pi. To do that, we're going to copy this link here, right? Paste it. Then what it's going to do is it's going to download MPI for Pi version 2.0. It's a archived file. So we're going to hit enter. It's going to download the file. Now we need to extract the file. To extract the file, again, I forgot to type in sudo. We're going to copy this first here, this tar up until the GZ. Copy it. But I should have added sudo first. I'm going to correct it. By the time you guys watch it, it should be corrected. So type in sudo first. Hit space. Paste that code right there. This code is going to extract our MPI for Pi version 2.0 file. So hit enter. It extracted a file. Now we're going to change our directory here, cd. We're going to change our directory to that file, the directory that the file created when we extracted it. So hit enter. We're in that directory now. Now we're going to install Python. So copy this code here. Sudo aptitude install python dev. Copy it, paste it, hit enter. And it will take like 5 to 10 minutes. I want to come back once that's finished. All right, guys, so it should prompt you to continue. Type in yes, hit enter, and I'll see you guys once it's finished. All right, guys, so that finished. Now we're going to build our Python here. Copy this line of code, Python space setup.py space build. Copy it, paste it, hit enter. And this one shouldn't take too long. All right, guys, that's finished. Now we're going to copy the next line of code, sudo python setup /pi install. Copy it. Oops, forgot the S. Copy it and paste it and let it go. Now that's finished. Now let's copy this line of code here. Export python path equals home /pi/pi for pi. I'm sorry, MPI for Pi version 2.0. Copy that, paste it, hit enter. Now we are at the last part of this video, the last line of code here, and we're going to copy it and paste it. Now this line of code here is going to test or judge whether or not whatever we did throughout this video worked. So it's going to print out a few different things here, and it should print out hello world a few times, and with our Pi name. And if it's printed out successfully, that means everything we did was successful, and if it printed it out for you, everything worked for you, and you should pat yourself in the back. So we're gonna hit enter. This is what you should see here. Hello world, I am process 0 of 5 on Pi 1. Then hello world, I am process 1 of 5 on Pi 1, and it goes up until 3 of 5 on Pi 1. If you see this here, that means everything's working. Pat yourself on the back. You made it this far. Congratulations. Now we can wait for video 3 and finish up the cluster. And video 4 we will be testing out the cluster. So that's pretty much it, guys. Now I'm gonna close this up here. I'm gonna close it. Yes. All right, guys. Now again, I did mention that I want to work on a super cluster, but I need to purchase like 200 and plus Raspberry Pis to do it. If you guys like this video and like all the videos in this series, I know that you guys are really into it, and I will invest the money and I will purchase all those Raspberry Pis. If you don't like it, then I won't purchase any of this stuff and I won't do that video. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys like this video, please give me a like. If you want more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. I'm Rasim from raspberrytech.com, and thank you for watching.